All right, this is John Kaley with okraw.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you where I'm coming at you guys. Today is the Natural Products Expo West 2016 taking place here in Anaheim, California. This is the largest trade show of its kind for the health food industry. So this event is attended by, health food store owners, people involved in reselling different health food products, and also more importantly, literally thousands of different vendors or exhibitors inside that have raw food, vegan, natural products that you're gonna find really soon at your local health food store. So the reason why I'm here today is to share with you guys some of the best products. But before I go into the Natural Products Expo, if we look at the name, Natural Products Expo, this is all about the products, right? And what I want to let you guys know is that, this is the largest trade show of its kind about the business of health. This is strictly about business, and while there may be some health food products inside there, in my opinion, there's a lot of processed food products, and a lot of these products will not bring you health. This is evidenced by the people in attendance. I mean, it's a pretty good clip of what standard America looks like. There's plenty of people that are maybe overweight, obese, and people that are smoking, people that are struggling walking. Of course, there's a lot of healthy people here too. But if this is truly about health, I think everybody would kind of look like me, be skinny, trim, and fit, and healthy. And if this was truly about health, this would be pretty much a convention of fruits and vegetables and how to grow them and make higher quality fruits and vegetables and how to get them to the public sooner and quicker so they lose less phytochemicals and phytonutrients. So for that reason, that's why I came up with, growing your own food. That's simply the best. But anyways, I know there's a lot of you guys that are still stuck in the products world and like buying things and things that, you think might make you healthy. And there's a few products in there, I'm not gonna discount the whole industry, but I really want to encourage you guys to just eat more fruits and vegetables. Those are the true health foods, and a lot of the foods in here, in my opinion, are definitely faux foods. So anyways, let's go ahead and head inside, show you guys what it looks like, and show you guys some of the best products of this year's 2016 Natural Products Expo that could help you out to sustain a healthier diet and become healthier at the same time. All right, so I'm here in the Expo, man. It's just entirely insane. It's like one big party in here, and there's so many people just trying to get through. Show you guys some cool stuff. All right, so anyways, there's so many different products in here, and just because it's at the Natural Products Expo, it doesn't mean it's going to be healthy for you to eat, right? What I want to encourage you guys is to process you guys' own foods at home, right? You guys know I say it. If you guys never watched me before, I'm going to say it right now. The best foods on the entire planet are fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, and you want to increase the volume of fruits and vegetables you guys eat, no matter how you guys can do it. Now, growing your own fresh stuff is the best, but if you can't do that, buy your stuff organic or even conventional. Conventionally raised produce, in my opinion, and based on my research, is better than any other kind of processed food junk that has, refined sugars, refined oils, different kind of food colorings, as well as preservatives, which in my opinion are really bad. So where I'm at now is I'm actually at the Tribest booth. And the reason why I like Tribest is because they make healthy living easy. They supply you with the products that allow you to eat more of the best foods on the planet, the fruits and vegetables. So I want to go over really quickly just some of the products here at Tribest that allow you to do just that. So Tribest's claim to fame is actually their juicer line. They came out originally with the Green Star juicer line, and now they have the Green Star Elite, one of the best juicers if you want to get the most juice out of the produce and create very high yield and probably have the highest nutrient quality. If you guys are looking for a juicer, or dehydrator, blender, or any of the Tribest products, please check out my other website, discountjuicers.com. That's associated with my other YouTube channel, simply called Raw Foods, where I demonstrate the Tribest products and other appliances that allow you to eat more fruits and vegetables. My favorite juicer right now is the Tribest Slow Star. It's a vertical juicer. I find it works for juicing most everything. It works on fruits, vegetables, and leafy greens. Works really good. And it's also very quick to use, as well as they got the Tribest Solo Star here. Down at the bottom, that's the single auger machine, good for juicing lots of leafy greens and things like the wheatgrass. Next, I want to go ahead and move over here, and Tribest has the Sedona Express dehydrators with the plastic trays and the stainless steel trays. This is their latest raw food dehydrator that's gonna, you know, keep your temperatures at the right temperature for raw foodists and basically dehydrate your food. So I like to use dehydration not as an everyday snack, but when I have overabundance of food in my garden, like tomatoes or peppers or kale, I'll turn those into kale chips or dried peppers or dried tomatoes and then use those in my recipes later in the year. Let's go ahead and go up a little bit to the all-new Dynablend Clean Blender. This is their all-new model, 1.1 horsepower glass carafe, and all the connections on the bottom where the food touches is all stainless steel. That's why it's called the Dynablend Clean. They've also upgraded the connection to being metal on the drive shaft here and upgraded the motor and bearing assembly. So I like that. And the other thing I really like about the Dynablend Clean is that it has a 10-year warranty. This is longer than any other blender in the industry. Now let me go ahead and show you guys the next consumer product they have right over here. So this is the all-new Tribest Souvent sous vide machine, and this for raw food is a godsend. What it allows you to do is basically put your food inside a bag, immerse it in water that has a precise temperature. So you could put it at 118 degrees and it is precise to 1/10 of a degree. You could then let it sit in there for as much time as you would like. And basically what happens is it gently heats it up and it'll change the texture of your raw vegetables and make them much more soft and pliable. And you know, it reminds me when I had some of the zucchini that was done in here, it reminds me of like sauteed zucchinis. But you know, you don't need to use any oil and it's at a low temperature. And think about it, you know, as much as I like as the best cooking methods things like boiling or steaming, you know, doing it this way is even better, because when you boil or steam, you lose a lot of nutrition in the water, right? So drink the water if you're boiling or steaming. But in the sous vide, you don't have to drink the water because you're doing it in a sealed plastic. So all the nutrients stay in with the food and meld with the food and make the food even taste better than it did before, because the heat gently helps to blast open some of those cell walls to make more nutrition available for you guys. So I'm really excited about testing the Tribest Souvent sous vide machine really soon, so be sure to check me out on my other YouTube channel at discountjuicers.com or youtube.com/rawfoods. The last product I want to show you guys that Tribest has new all this year is actually a commercial product, so you're probably not going to want to buy it for your home, but they're really taking commercial appliances for juice bars to the next level. So the next machine Tribest will be coming out with soon under their commercial division for food service is the Snow Pop machine by Presidential Food Service. And what it allows you to do, it allows you to take any liquid, virtually any liquid that is pulp free, you put it in the top into the hopper here, you turn this machine on, and then it makes snow out of it. And I'm not kidding, snow. Look at this on my hand. We'll put my hand underneath there and look at that. The snow crystals are basically crystallizing on my hand. This is totally snow. This is not any kind of shave ice. And look at this. It's snowing here in Anaheim. Also, you could take this stuff, ball it together, and make snowballs to throw at the camera person. And then, so, you know, if you put juice in here, basically it'll make the juice into a snow, and then now you could serve this on a hot summer day. You know, imagine having one of these machines at your house. Maybe, just maybe, one of these days Tribest might try to make a home version of this guy, but right now, soon, it'll be available only for juice bars. So if you're interested in buying one of these Snow Pop machines, be sure to subscribe to my other YouTube channel, Raw Foods, where I'll have demonstrations of it really soon, and we'll be offering it as soon as it is available at discountjuicers.com. So now we're actually at the booth of Soleil Foods, and what they have is one of my favorite fruits in the entire world. It's dates, and I know it might be your favorite fruit also. They're quite handy, especially when you got to travel and pack and have something really, you know, calorically dense, but also with some good nutrition. So Soleil Foods, Soleil in French means sun, and that's because these products are sun-ripened, sun-sweetened, and sun-dried naturally, and these are USDA organic, and these are from Algeria. So next I want to go ahead and show you guys just some of the dates and the date product that I'm really excited about that they'll now soon be offering in the USA. So next I want to share with you guys the products here at Soleil Foods, and this is a standard pack of their Deglet Nord dates that are mostly available on the East Coast. Now these guys, if you guys look at them, organic Deglet Nors, you know, they look really good. And what these are, they're these guys right here. And look at these guys. This is actually known as the grade B Deglet Nor dates. And if they kind of look like this, see how they kind of look a little bit shiny? What they do is actually they hydrate these with steam for like 3 to 4 hours. When it does that, the dates get sweeter and they also get softer. But if you're into raw foods, you may not want, you know, the steamed dates that have been, you know, steamed and then water added, right? So what I prefer instead, and actually what are less expensive, are these guys right here. These are the grade C Deglet Nors. And these guys, this is what they look like. These are all 100% sun-dried, you know, never tunnel-dried or anything like that. And the amazing thing about these Deglet Nors is that these come in bulk packs. Hopefully soon they'll be selling them in retail packs. Retail price is gonna be under $3 a pound, you know, and when you could take one of these and eat it, unlike the medjool that you may pay, you know, organic medjools at your bulk bins, might pay $8 plus a pound, really sticky, stick to your teeth. These guys are quite dry, and they're not too dry so that they're hard like rocks. They're really like, you could take a nice bite and it flakes off really easily. They're not sticky. They're more like a hard candy. This is an incredible texture, amazing at an affordable price. It's definitely one of my new favorite dates I've seen, because, you know, we don't really get California dates that are this texture. Normally the dry dates are much harder, so this is like the perfect texture. So aside from that, the coolest product I wanted to share with you guys is this product that they'll be coming out with soon. This is a date powder. So what this is a special variety of dates grown in Algeria. They take that are just basically sun-dried on the tree. They take it, they take out the pit, and then they grind it up and put it into this date powder, right? That's the only processing they do, so that's minimally processed. So when they do it this way, unlike refined sugar products, you know, coconut sugar, cane sugar, this product has the full fiber, and fiber is a very important nutrient, and all those processed sugar products remove the fiber. In addition, dates are one of the most nutritionally dense foods on the planet. They contain a wide variety of minerals, including iron and other things. So, you know, in my opinion, this is probably one of the best sweeteners on the entire planet, and I heard that in Algeria, you know, they use this product to build your bones up because it's high in calcium. So we're gonna go ahead and open this guy up. Now, you know, I want to get you guys and encourage you guys to get away from eating refined sugar products and instead eat fruit. Fruit is the best sugar on the entire planet, because when you eat a whole fruit, you know, like a banana and orange, it comes with the, you know, the sugar, but also more importantly, the water, and also more importantly, the phytonutrients, phytochemicals, vitamins, and minerals. And because the dates, they are just another fruit and they are naturally sun-dried, they will have all these benefits except the water. So the secret is, if you hydrate this date powder, soak it in some water, it'll even get sweeter for you guys. So this is what it looks like. This is a really nice, look at this. This is a nice sugar consistency there. This is like a nice powder, look at that. That's like powdered sugar. This is the finest date powder I've seen. Most, you know, date sugars are little crystals, and I don't know how they process that. I like this because it's 100% whole, raw food. This stuff is super delicious. So if you want to learn more about the grade C dates, I got all the date powder on my face. That stuff, this stuff is like candy. This is probably the best thing if you need to pack some food to take with you, because it's 100% dates, just ground up into powder. It is so sweet. I mean, if you still add sugar to smoothies, which I don't recommend because the fruit that you're adding to your smoothie should taste good enough, add some dates, or better yet, add some whole date powder. Best sugar on the entire planet, in my opinion, because it is from a whole food, not a highly processed food like the majority of the foods here at the trade show. If you guys want to learn more about the date powder, the other products that Soleil Foods offers, you're going to want to visit them at their website, soleilfoods.com, SOLEIL foods.com. So now I want to share with you guys probably like my favorite booth at the entire event here, and it's right here. It's a Hamona Coconuts, and let me go ahead and share with you guys why I like this coconut water and meat more than any other at the show. These coconuts are very special. And as you guys can see, these are the coconuts. This is the coconut with the water, you know. I mean, coconut water is all the rage. You guys are buying coconut water in like Tetra Packs and plastic bottles, glass bottles. All this creates waste. Waste is ridiculous. I mean, does it get recycled? Most of the stuff doesn't get recycled, right? Especially the plastics, worst stuff. And Tetra Packs, let's not talk about Tetra Packs and environmental impact. Tetra Pak says, oh yeah, this is a recyclable, but there's very few places that will actually recycle it, right? Coconuts, right, come in the natural packaging, right? Coconut fiber. This is 100% compostable, right? You could compost it in your backyard. This will break down. Think about it. In nature, there is no such thing as waste. Everything in nature is compostable, not made out of plastic or, you know, all this other stuff. 100% compostable. Now, these coconuts are unlike any other in the entire world. I mean, most coconuts may come in from Thailand, and they're dipped in basically a toxic mixture of thymobenzol, which is a fungicide. It's also used for deworming your pets, which are also sprayed on conventional bananas, and also sulfides. I had a girlfriend that she would drink sometimes the coconut from Thailand, and her chest would tighten up because some of the sulfides may get through into the coconut itself. Now, I would always encourage you guys to buy a Thai coconut in the shell, you know, instead of something in a package, in a bottle, right? But why do that when you could even have better? You could have a Vietnam coconut that has not been dipped. And here's the reason why they're able to get away with that. The coconuts from Thailand are a little bit younger. These are a little bit more mature, but they're still at a right age so that they don't need to, you know, process it, because the shell is hard enough so that these have a 3-month shelf life under refrigeration. Now, don't keep these on your countertop. They're going to expire really fast. But under proper refrigeration at the right temperatures, 3 months shelf life. These come over on a boat, so that's about a month. So that by the time you get them here in the States, as long as they have good distribution, they will last 2 months. Completely amazing. So now no longer you need to buy pasteurized coconut waters that probably has less nutrition, and even more so, a lot of those packaged coconut waters now are from concentrate, which is completely ridiculous. Now, I know you're thinking, John, man, those coconuts sound like the best in the world, but the problem is, man, I like my Zico because I can just take my hand and unscrew the top and get in there, and all those coconuts, they're so hard to get into. Well, don't worry, the Hamona Coconuts have solved that issue for you guys. And what you do is you just simply take the straw here. The straw has a little point on the end, and you're going to go ahead and take the coconut, and on the coconut they even have a little hole so that you know where to poke the straw. And while we're talking about the label, let's talk about this. Let's talk about accountability, traceability, and transparency, right? When you buy Zico water, you don't know how many coconuts did they add in, you know, just filtered water in there. Are they watering it down? You don't know. When you get a sealed coconut, you know that the coconut water is in there. They haven't added anything. And furthermore, for accountability, they have this little code here. See that little barcode thing there? You scan that with your phone. It takes you to the web page of the farmer that grew the coconut. Hamona works with over 200 different family-owned small farms to harvest the coconuts and get them to you, and then each coconut is from the farmer, so you could actually scan that and you'll go to the web page of one of 200 farmers that actually grew this. Now, these are not certified organic. Organic certification is a lot, and in Vietnam these small family farmers cannot afford that. The small family farmers, from what I've been told, do not spray pesticides on their coconut trees, and to fertilize them, they go into the river, they pull out all the muck from the river and put it on their trees. So what that means is they are mineralizing their trees, so these should be some very delicious coconuts. Now for you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and try it for the first time. Once again, we're gonna take that straw, put it right through that hole right there. They tell you where to put it. Look at that, push it right in. It goes in really easily. Sometimes I like to pull out the plug. No plug, put it in there or drink.
Take straight out of the real coconut. Give it a try.
Wow, that's a good coconut. Now, you know, coconuts are not all going to be sickly sweet, but this is a variety, you know, that's grown for a good taste, right? There's many different kinds of varieties of coconuts in the world, much like there's many different kinds of apples, you know, Gala apples, Fuji apples, Granny Smith apples, and a lot of the more mature coconuts may not be as sweet, but these are bred for the sweetness. Now we're gonna go ahead and drink this, and then now I'm gonna show you guys, not only are you gonna get the water out of here, but you're also gonna get the young coconut meat, one of the best foods on the entire planet. And I'm gonna show you guys how easy you could get in here without hammers, without knives, but just simply with a spoon. All right, so one of the things I wanna let you guys know, you might be thinking, John, how much coconut water is in each of these coconuts? So it depends. Hamona Coconuts has different sizes, so you can see this is a small size, this is a large size, and the amount of water in each one can vary. So it could vary from 6 ounces all the way up to 12 ounces, like for a bigger one. Now, besides the water, you're also gonna get the coconut meat. Oh, and before we go on to the coconut meat, you know, one of the reasons why I like coconut so much is because, in my opinion, it's anti-aging. You know, the coconut makes these plant cytokines that are in the coconut so that they can basically, you know, be in the coconut and be in their big husk, drop in the water, float across the ocean, plant itself somewhere else, and then grow into a tree. And its ocean journey may take months. So nature is smart, and to prevent the coconut from aging, it created these plant cytokines, or coconut plant cytokines, so that it basically keeps it fresh, so that it does not go bad, expire. Also, as you guys know, coconut oil is antiviral, antibacterial, and all these things, and that's so that the coconut doesn't expire on its journey. And then when we extract the coconut oil, we get those properties in us. Now, I don't necessarily recommend you guys eat coconut oil because that's an extracted fat, but what I do recommend you guys eat is the young coconut meat, because that'll have lower levels of the coconut oil, but also the fiber that's very important. So now I want to show you guys how easy it is to open one of these Hamona coconuts. We're going to go ahead and remove the straw. And we have just a simple spoon here. And we're going to go ahead and turn this guy upside down. And on the upside down part, there's a little point. Between the point, there's little lines or veins that go down. There's 3 veins. You're just going to go ahead and take the spoon and just tap, 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 and just tap it along. And keep going around. And you'll hear it. Did you guys hear that? I don't know if you guys heard that, but it then had a more hollow sound. Look at that. It's split right there. Just get your finger in there, get the spoon in there, and just flip it up. Look at how easy that was. Anybody could open a coconut simply and easily, you know, with just a spoon. Now, once you got the spoon in there, you could use, you know, another spoon. You could go ahead and get out this meat. Now, this meat is not like that thick meat like the coconuts from Mexico. This is a thin jelly meat. So you just get in there, look at how easy the coconut separates from the husk there, or the shell. Super simple, super easy. Once again, anybody could do this, and you should not be scared of coconuts if you get the Hamona coconuts that are nice and young at the right age, so that the shell is thick enough so that it'll last 3 months refrigerated, but also you'll be able to easily get the jelly baby meat out. Now, I want to encourage you guys, you know, with this jelly baby meat, you should take this meat out, cut it into thin slices. You can make little noodles out of it. The perfect texture for noodles. You could add it to smoothies. One of my favorite puddings in the whole world is I take coconut meat, a little bit of water, coconut water, some dates, actually the date powder that you guys just saw earlier. That would be the perfect thing to use. You could have the most amazing, and some vanilla bean. You could have the most amazing pudding in the whole world, 100% raw, 100% vegan, based around coconuts, one of my favorite foods. So look at that. Simply and easily, I've gotten the whole coconut meat out of there, and then the next step, of course, is eat. Wow, this is amazing texture. This would make amazing noodles. If you want to learn more about the Hamona coconuts, you want to check out Hamona.com. Unfortunately, right now they don't have U.S. distribution, so if you're in that position to do that, I'll definitely encourage you guys to look into it. So the next exhibit I want to show you guys is actually right here behind me. It's actually called Mother Dirt, and their motto is Rethink Clean. And what they have is an all-new product that could help a lot of you guys. Like, how many guys have like body odors? BO, right? Oh, it stinks. I don't got no BO today, but you guys might. And you know, most products out there basically are like scented perfume products, and they mask the odor. They don't really make it go away. They just put a stronger smell over it, so you don't actually smell the odor that is being produced, right? This is how many air fresheners work, right? They try to mask the odor. Now the problem with that is now not only do you still have the body odor, you also have the toxic product if you're using a conventional product, you know, to mask the odor. And if you're using an organic product, then the organic product may mask the odor, but the odor is going to come back over time, right? my true way, in my opinion, you know, based on my research, to solve this issue is to, you know, fight the bacteria that's creating the odor with good bacteria. And one of my latest areas of study is the whole microbiome and beneficial bacteria, yeast, and funguses. And you know, if you guys take beneficial probiotics for your stomach or eat sauerkrauts and stuff, you know, the beneficial probiotics in our stomach help us digest our food. They also are part of our immune system, right? And you know, I like to correlate that with the beneficial probiotics and the soil microbiome and the bacteria in the soil that actually break down the nutrients for the plants. So the bacteria, the good and the bad, have been around for generations. Unfortunately, most of you guys always hear about the bad bacteria, the E. coli on the spinach and all these things, right? There's also a whole classification of friendly or good bacteria. And the problem is, in this day and age of all these antibacterial hand sanitizers and this stuff, we're killing all the bacteria because we think it's all bad, but there's good stuff. So this product is actually a skincare product that's a good bacteria product that is unscented, no preservatives, can help improve oily and dry skin, and also, you know, in 60% of the users have reported, you know, it takes away their body odor. So let me go ahead and go over to the booth and show you guys the new product that's out. So now we're gonna go ahead and share with you guys the product, and it's actually right here. This is actually from Mother Dirt. It's the AO Plus Mist Rethink Clean. Now, this product, unlike other products, you know, it's not shelf stable. This should be refrigerated, you know, once you get it, once you bring it home. Much like other probiotics, you know, they're live, active cultures, and you know, you need to keep them in the fridge so that they'll stay fresher longer, and you know, be able to provide this, you know, the benefits that they offer. Because if you just keep it in your, you know, bathroom or whatever on the counter, you know, and you spray the stuff on you, oh John, that stuff doesn't work, man. Well, you got to keep it in the fridge because it's active, right? Keep it alive. So this is the product that comes in the box right here. It's just this little spray right here, and I like that they don't have any perfume or dyes or anything on there. And I did use this right before I made this video and sprayed it on my hands, and I have some dry skin action. I sprayed this on my hands maybe just like 5 minutes ago, and my hands, I could already feel like they feel a bit more moisture. So what this product does is it can basically rebalance your microbiome, and then it'll balance out your skin. So if it's like too dry, it'll become more normal. If it's too oily, it'll become more, you know, more normal also. And so also the biggest use, of course, is like under the arms. Spray it on. Obviously, you would want to spray it without a shirt on. You can spray it on your face, mist it on your hands, put it in your hair. You can spray it all over your body. And this will help your microbiome. I mean, you guys take probiotics for your internals, you know, why not spray some probiotics on your externals? Non-toxic. And let me tell you, I react violently to many different chemicals, so I'm glad I've had no reactions with this. I do look forward to using this product and maybe getting back at you with an updated video on how it works for me. If you want to learn more about this stuff, you can check them out at motherdirt.com. So now I want to share with you guys another one of my favorite booths here at Expo West 2016. It's actually Green Leaf Foods, and they make these new raw wraps that I haven't seen before that have some very interesting qualities. So let me go ahead and head over there and share with you guys why I like them so much. So now I want to introduce you guys to the raw wraps and what they are right here. These are the raw wraps. They come in a package like this. They come in a package of 5, and the suggested retail price is around $10, depending on where you live. There's 5 in here. The cool thing I like about these wraps is that they are basically half apple and half either spinach or kale over here. And so that's what they are predominantly made of. And then some of the other ingredients are onions, quinoa, coconut nectar, and psyllium husk. So there's no like fatty nuts or seeds. So this is really good for a lot of people that maybe want to do a low fat. And of course, if you want to add some fat in, that's all right. You know, put some avocados in there when you make your wraps. They're going to be super delicious. Now, one of the good things about this wrap, and here it is right here, you can see it's on like a pizza plate. These are vegan, they're gluten-free and dairy-free and soy-free. And check out how flexible these are, right? Look at that. I could totally like bend it almost in half and it didn't crack. These are super flexible. These are one of the most flexible wraps that I've actually ever found. So you could like, these would be great to like wrap up like a burrito, you know, with vegetables inside, take it to go. The other thing that'd be cool, I mean, you could probably like maybe try to do a pizza with this, but the problem is it's actually so thin for a pizza, it might not work that well. So what I might recommend is try to make one of those like filled crust cheese pizzas. Not using real dairy cheese, but use one of these wraps, maybe make a fermented nut cheese, put it on there, and then put another one on top, right? And then put that in your dehydrator, dehydrate it until it's more crispy and solid, and then take it out. And then put your toppings on there and then make it into your pizza crust. Another idea you could do, because these are so flexible, if you want to get these, you know, more hard, you could actually just put them in the dehydrator. You're basically going to cut it in half like this. Then you're going to dehydrate it in the dehydrator pretty much like this and hang it out. And then actually when you're done, you're going to have like a little burrito shell, kind of like this, because it's only half. It's going to be really hard and crunchy, and then you'll be able to eat it. And so that's really cool. And look at that, I mean, I bent this so hardcore and there's no holes in it because this is really super flexible. So unlike other wraps on the market that may use like, you know, coconut meat or some flax seeds or some other kind of nut, you know, for a binder, they don't use any of that here, and that's why it's so flexible. It's also very thin. My favorite way, of course, to use these guys is to make like wraps out of it with more vegetables on the inside. So think about it now. These wraps are, you're wrapping basically fruits and vegetables on the inside with fruits and vegetables on the outside, because they are made from, you know, kale or spinach and apples predominantly. So that's really cool. Look for these soon at a store near you, and if you're not able to get them at a store, you're going to want to visit them at rawwraps.org. So now I want to show you guys another exhibitor that I really like here at this year's Natural Products Expo, and it's one that I probably thought that I would never share with you guys because, you know, I've had kale chips on my show this year, that year, and like, how can another kale chip company do anything major different or be new and exciting more than all the other ones? Well, Brand New Foods out of Canada is, and that's why I'm showing them on this video. Whether you're a kale chip manufacturer or a kale chip eater, they got some really cool stuff you'll want to know about. So let me go ahead and take you guys over there and share with you guys why this is my all new favorite kale chip company. All right, so here's the deal. The reason why I like Brand New Foods out of Canada for their kale chips is because they're basically innovating the whole kale chip thing. All right, so number one, they got two kinds of kale chips. They got the traditional kale chips that you guys may be used to, you know, for like us health foodies that are into like health food. But then for your guys' spouses and people that don't eat this health food kale chip stuff, they got the solution for you guys as well. They got this kind over here. They got the Kaley's barbecue kale chips. So I mean, if you look at this, what does that look like? You're like thinking, John, that looks like a potato chip package. Well, right, it looks like a potato chip package because Kaley's and Brand New Foods is trying to go after the people that would buy potato chips and put these next to, in standard grocery stores, the potato chip aisle, to give them healthier alternatives. And this barbecue one right here, they got all the samples here. And, you know, there's some ingredients in here that I wouldn't normally eat all the time. You know, but if you're like a just conventional eater eating potato chips, yeah, this is way better than regular potato chips. But let me tell you, right, this barbecue flavor, when I eat it, oh my God, it reminds me of eating barbecue potato chips back in the day when I ate them. Now, I'm not going to be regularly buying this. I'm just trying it now because I'm at the trade show having some fun, because they got some things like, I mean, it's not really even that bad, but rice flour and potato syrup seasoning and all these things that I wouldn't eat. But this, once again, this is marketed to people that would normally eat potato chips, way healthier at a really excellent price point. Not only do they have the barbecue, they also got the salt and vinegar, creamy onion, sea salt, jalapeno, dill pickle, and they got a bacon flavor. And check it out, this bacon flavor has no bacon, 100% vegan. I tried it the other day. To me, it kind of tastes like barbecue, but maybe it tastes like bacon. I couldn't tell you because I haven't had bacon for like over, I don't even know, man, 30 years. But nonetheless, these bacon kale chips, they taste great to me. So this is just their standard line, you know, for people eating regular potato chips. Now I want to get into their new line that I like even more for us health foodies that eat health food, kale chips. And that's the Solar Raw Food Kale Chips. Now, there's a few things that there's a lot of things that set this company apart, and this allows them to lead the field in kale chips. And I never heard about them before because they are from Canada, eh? and they do a few things different. So, unlike other kale chip companies, the first thing they do different is that they are the farmers, right? They grow on over 100 acres of farmland in Canada to grow kale. And check this out, because they're growing the kale and then they process the kale into chips, kale is virtually free for them, because what? Guess what? They plant the plants, the sun comes down, the awesome soil in Ontario, Canada, you know, enriches the fertility. They add things like soil probiotics, which is the beneficial microbes to the soil. They add things that conventional growers and even organic growers do not do, like the sea minerals, which means they're going to have less pest pressures, and all this is grown without the use of pesticides and herbicides. They have less pest pressures, plus they have more nutritious kale that has more nutrition than even organic kale. And because they're the farmer, they go out to the fields, they harvest the kale, they bring it right in, they make it into kale chips instantly. They're losing less nutrition than kale that's been harvested in California, shipped to Texas to be processed into kale chips. So they got a lot of things going for them. And oh, and then here's the thing. Now, because they do all this, guess what? This is a $6 retail package of the kale chips, right? And you guys know kale chips at your local store, about $6. How much does it weigh? 2 ounces, 2.2 ounces. Guess what? 50% more in this package, 3.35 ounces. Same price. I mean, this is the kale chip that every store should buy. Now, here's the other thing, right? The other thing about this is that they have solar panels on their roof, and they generate a significant amount of solar power to run their dehydration that's below 118 degrees. So now they're more fully integrated. Not only do they grow nutritious kale, not only do they grow it on site, not only do they process on site, they're using solar power to make their kale chips. So I mean, this is really what all companies need to strive to follow, to be totally integrated. This way they save money, they can provide the customer a better value. Now, furthermore, the other thing is that they have full disclosure of all the ingredients, you know, so they use things like nutritional yeast, and they specify the brand of Engvita nutritional yeast. This is a GMO-free nutritional yeast. So last thing about these kale chips I want to share with you guys, these kale chips wouldn't be worth nothing if they didn't taste good. So I was here yesterday, I tasted all the different varieties. They got like over a half dozen varieties, and we're gonna go ahead and taste this one for you guys. Now these are like in English and French, because this is the version for Canada. Now they will be coming into the United States real soon and have English packaging, so all us Yanks could read it. But basically this is kale chips better than cheddar flavor, and we're gonna go ahead and try this stuff. And yeah, look, these oversized jumbo bags, you get more stuff, same price. It's really cool. They grow to organic standards, although they're not organic certified yet, but they're in process. These are definitely some good kale chips. Now, my favorite kind right here, nope, that's not it. Over here, oh. Other brands used to have this flavor, but discontinued it for some reason. But they got a lot of flavors to meet and satisfy all your taste buds out there. They got the red peppercorn ranch kale chip. And check this out. Another thing I like about this, look, you can see mostly chip. A lot of kale chips you see, they're just covered in the sauce. So, you know, you got a lot of kale here without a lot of the sauce. Really good. That helps them save money, because nuts are more expensive than kale that you're growing. Also, it's healthier for you because you're eating more kale and less of the sauce. All right, let's go ahead and try this one. Man, these are definitely the best kale chips. Provide a good value to the customer. I hope other people in the kale chip industry follow this, get integrated, grow their own kale, grow their own high quality kale using sea minerals, run on solar power. Run by a fellow vegetarian who already actually watched my videos, so he knew me when I walked up, so that was really cool too. If you want to learn more about these kale chips, you want to visit them at solarrawfood.com. At this point, I definitely recommend them. Best value, and you know, a family-owned company with good values. So check them out. So the next exhibitor I want to show you guys is one that I'm really excited about. It's basically, they're called Theodent, and it's basically a toothpaste based around chocolate or cacao. And you're like thinking, Wait a second, John. Chocolate? Man, that's that stuff that rots your teeth, right? No, man, it's not the cacao that rots your teeth. It's the sugar in the cacao, all those refined sugars, man, that are rotting your teeth out because it feeds the bad bacteria that are basically causing caries or cavities in your mouth and rotting your teeth out. What they've done here is actually they've done something pretty special and found out, you know, a plant metabolite or plant compound that cacao makes that can actually help you to remineralize your teeth, actually. So let's go ahead and go over there and learn more about the Theodent and say bye-bye fluoride. Hello, Theodent. So one of the challenges I've had actually on a raw food diet, eating lots of fruits and vegetables, are some cavities. Now, the reason for that is because, you know, when I got into raw foods originally, I was told by some people that I shouldn't have listened to that no other animal on earth brushes its teeth, so that we don't need to either because we're eating our natural diet. So I pretty much just flat ignored brushing and flossing my teeth. And let me tell you, that's a big mistake that I am paying for nowadays. So I'm working with basically remineralizing my teeth. And here's a tip for you guys, right? You guys don't remember anything else, remember this? You know, you want to have alkaline foods in your mouth because that will help you remineralize your teeth more than acidic food. So especially when you're buying those oranges that aren't ripe and those pineapples that aren't ripe, those really play a number on your enamel, and you want to protect your enamel. And if you destroy your enamel, you're in really bad shape, and that's what happened to me. Some of my enamel in my mouth is messed up. So then I get really, you know, hot and cold sensitivity sometimes. When I eat some things, I'll get pains in my teeth, and that's just not fun. And this happened to me for years ago until I found a product known as Novamin, and that was an additive to certain toothpastes here in the US. And since that time, actually they got basically outlawed in the US, and you could no longer get that product. And that was the only product that helped me remineralize my teeth so that I wouldn't have teeth sensitivity. So fast forward to now, you know, I learned about Theodent, and actually they have studies that show that their Theodent toothpaste with Renew actually in clinical studies is more effective. That's right here. That's theirs right here, Theodent. And this is the Sensodyne, and this is a special Sensodyne for doctors only that has the Novamin that I formerly or still do use, that I actually have to import from out of the country to help me with my you know, enamel loss and tooth sensitivity. This stuff works better. So this is why I'm sharing it with you guys, because I think it's so valuable to know this. Now, you know, they're not putting just straight cacao beans in their toothpaste, and I don't recommend you guys brush your teeth with cacao beans, because in the cacao there's theobromine and there's also caffeine. Caffeine messes up and doesn't allow your you know, remineralization, and the theobromine is actually what helps remineralize your teeth when combined with other minerals in the Theodent toothpaste. So I got a sample yesterday, I used it last night. You know, they got 3 different ones, so let me go ahead and explain them. They got the standard Theodent, and the good news for you guys, this is the first time that they're at this show, so I'm learning about it and how powerful it is. But this has been on the store shelves at all your Whole Foods near you for a while, but you may not know that it actually can remineralize your teeth, because they're not allowed to make any claims to that effect, although they have, you know, studies that show that's what it can be helpful with. They also have a kids version. The difference with the kids version, for the most part, is that it actually tastes like chocolate, so kids actually want to brush their teeth, and it helps them remineralize their teeth. And then if you got really bad, you know, sensitivities, then you want to get the doctor's only version, and that's the Theodent 300 that has even you know, higher dosages of the active ingredient to help you remineralize your teeth, to get rid of those sensitivities. Now I'm going to tell you guys, you know, the thing to do is not to get the sensitivities in the first place. So don't let your enamel erode, right? You know, don't brush your teeth right after you eat like oranges and other foods. I like recommend definitely flossing and rinsing your mouth out with water, and then waiting like 30 minutes, half hour, then brushing your teeth, right? And floss, and do this like after every fruit meal. That's what I recommend you guys do. Take care of your teeth, number one. Now if you have issues after you have sensitivities, then you want to use this, and you might want to even use this for, you know, preventative measures. Like if I had to do this all over again, this would be one of the toothpastes I use in rotation. And that's very important. Like, as much as I like this toothpaste or that toothpaste, you know, I like certain toothpaste for different reasons. This toothpaste may like help to, you know, restore the beneficial flora in your mouth. This toothpaste may remineralize. Sometimes I like to use baking soda or a charcoal-based tooth powder to help my teeth whiten. And you know, this one will now be in my mixture to help me remineralize my teeth, and especially when I have teeth sensitivities, I'll be using this, and this should work better than my current solution that I got to import actually from India, and I'll have be sure to have updated videos letting you guys know how this is working for me. So be sure to click that subscribe link down below for my updates when I do have a video on dental issues. So if you guys want to learn more about the Theodent toothpaste, you want to visit them at theodent.com at this time. Based on the research studies that I've seen and some of the information and talking to the doctor that formulated this, that actually has a background in nutrition, I definitely believe it's going to be something very useful to me and will also be useful to you guys. So you can head out to Whole Foods and buy it, or check them out at theodent.com. So what do you guys think about this year's Natural Products Expo West? I thought it was pretty good. Like, the main thing I want to share with you guys is that this year's Expo was totally insane. It was like larger than ever. Like, I think like 3,000 plus different exhibitors, and like there is way too many people. Like, normally I'm able to get around the whole place and walk the whole show floor in like 3 days. This year I wasn't able to walk 100% of everything. I got like 90+%, and I covered the best, you know, items that I like the most in this video, but I might have missed a few because I didn't get to go everywhere, unfortunately. I was so busy just meeting fans and giving presentations and trying to like learn about this stuff. I mean, I go to these expos to not only share with you guys because you guys aren't able to be there, but for myself, right? I've been living this health conscious path since 1995, you know, and I only got into this for my health, you know, and I see also other implications on other aspects of my life, on living a lighter footprint, on the animals and all this kind of stuff. But I'm in it for my health, and that's why I go to this trade show, because they have, you know, always some new products, things I'll learn about that I can incorporate into my life to make it better. And as much as I don't like products, and I don't want you guys to be buying products, I do realize that it's not about all or nothing. It's not about, oh, we're going to live off the land, you know, have all our own fruit trees and stuff, and, you know, that's great. But, you know, and it's not all about like eating processed junk crap foods, right? I'm mostly over onto the side where it's like, yeah, one day I'm going to have my own stuff. I'm going to grow myself, fruits and vegetables all the way. But I do realize that there are some products that may be helpful. And at least if they're, at least if I find out about some of the products, I'll find out, you know, how they make it and then how I can do it myself. Because in the end, I want you guys to be producers instead of consumers, right? And this change is not going to happen overnight. Like, we're not all able to grow all our own food, so we're still going to buy some products. And when you do buy products, I want to encourage you guys to buy products from companies that are fully transparent, you know, that you know where the product's coming from, that the people that are growing the product is, you know, being paid properly, and, you know, they're using, you know, good practices to encourage animals, fauna and flora on the planet instead of destroy it, you know, using conventional fertilizers and conventional agriculture, and just, you know, and support small local people, family people, instead of just big giant mega corporations. You know, I didn't focus on any of the major giant Hain Celestial Corporation and all these things and products they have coming out, because I'm not interested, because the innovation happens with the small, you know, home business style manufacturers that are coming out with cool products, because the big guys, they just want to sell a ton of stuff and they're not into these little niche products, right? So anyways, I want to get you guys to eat more fruits and vegetables, not think about the products, but yes, the products can come in handy, and more importantly, you can get some ideas from the products. So what I'd like to do now is actually go into some of the products that I really liked the most at this expo. I mean, you guys saw them earlier, but I'm going to go over them. I mean, I got samples of a bunch of the stuff. I really like these kale chips a lot, you know, no matter the kind they had. I mean, they have the ones that are bagged in the foil type bags. Those are kind of like, if you're really not into raw foods, if you're like into junk foods, those ones are great. But I really like these guys, and you know, the reason why is simply this. They're taking kale chips and, you know, food production to the next level. You know, they just don't go out and buy kale and then process it. They grow the kale, right? They grow, adding trace minerals into the soil, using organic growing practices. They process the kale on site using solar power, and then they sell the kale, and they make some, it's pretty clean, you know, the ingredients, they taste good. And so this is a much more sustainable way than, you know, standard kale companies that just buy kale and then process it, and then they got to charge more for it. So in this kale company, you also get more kale. And I want every company producing products that you guys consume to be like this. And you're only going to find out about these niche small companies, like, you know, if I go to the shows and talk to people and learn about them, because they don't have big marketing budgets. They're not huge companies that can't share this knowledge. And the cool thing about the owner of this company is actually he already watches my videos, so you're probably watching this now. What's up? So that's cool. Let's go into the bag. Dr. Ohhira's Probiotics. Got to give them a shout out. This is my #1 favorite probiotic, and I went to their booth, placed an order this year, and I got a nice messenger bag. But yeah, their probiotics, definitely the best if you're looking for some probiotics. Oh, another product I like a lot, these coconuts. Stay tuned for an upcoming episode where I have my girlfriend on, where actually she'll be opening the coconut to get the water out and also the meat out with the spoon. So aside from, you know, these being undipped, not treated with sulfides or fungicides like the Thai coconuts, these are from Vietnam. They taste good. They have a 90-day shelf life from the time they're processed at the factory. They have a little QR code so you can know and see the farmer that actually grew it. This is traceability, man. This is what I want for the future of the whole grocery industry. You know, this farm grows their own kale, processed, puts in a bag. This place, you know, you could scan it and know the farmer that grew it, and this company is paying the farmers 50% more than they were previously getting for their coconuts. So they're doing good in the world, and the future of you know, distribution and business is companies that can make a profit at the same time, but also do good and do right in the world instead of destroy it. So yeah, really love these coconuts here. Oh, next. Oh man, I got so many different things. Of course, you know, cannot resist those raw wraps. I like these because they're low-fat, raw vegan. You know, they're not using fatty seeds or nuts in there. I got a couple samples, and hopefully I'll get more and make some videos for you guys on what I'm going to do with them. They're definitely cool. And then, I got to say, this toothpaste stuff. Oops. This Theodent toothpaste stuff right here. I got a couple samples. Let's see, I got that one. I don't know where they went. But anyways, I got the standard. This is the standard one for adults, and it's a mint flavor. I don't particularly care for that too much. But this other one, this one for the kids, it has about the same amount of the active ingredient to, you know, help you remineralize your teeth, from the theobroma from the cacao, but this one actually tastes like chocolate. And it's insane. Like, I now look forward to brushing my teeth. Like, I'm gonna get to brush my teeth with chocolate, but don't worry, there's no sugar in here. It's got xylitol in there too that'll help kill some of that bacteria. But I think this might be my new favorite toothpaste. That being said, you know, I don't just stick to one toothpaste. I'm just not going to use this every day. Some days I have different toothpastes, you know, for killing germs that are more effective at killing germs than this toothpaste is if I'm getting like a sore throat or something's going on in my mouth. And I sometimes use baking soda or, you know, a product for whitening my teeth. And I always rotate these things as not to get too much of one ingredient in any toothpaste or not, because I think they all can be beneficial. Be sure to click that subscribe button right down below. One of these days, I don't know when, I'll be doing a video on all the different dental things I do to keep my teeth healthy. But yeah, for now, I do recommend this Theodent stuff, and I think your local Whole Foods may be selling it now. All right. So vitamin B12. I've researched vitamin B12 for a long time, and some people might say, well, John, if you're plant-based, raw diet, if you're not getting B12 from it, then it's not a good diet. Well, the thing is, we shouldn't just automatically eat animals for B12, because there's studies that show people that even eat animal products these days don't have enough B12. And so I want to, you know, once again, this is that black and white convergent or divergent thinking. My new movie, Allegiant, just came out. It's like the third part of the Divergent movie series. I love that show. But anyways, I want you guys to think divergently. But anyways, my favorite B12 is this one. It's a Nutrisuma B12. It's a spray. It doesn't have any extra added stuff in there. And it has 3 different kinds of the B12 in there. So yeah, like this one a lot. And that's the one I recommend at this point to people until I find something better. And of course, you know, I don't just use the Nutrisuma B12. I use other B12s as well. And this is why supplements can be helpful to get nutrients that you may be missing in your diet. And based on my research, the reason why B12 is deficient in the diet is because we've really screwed up the soil microbiome with chemical fertilizers. And even cows don't have B12 these days because they're being fed GMO corn and soy, and they're no longer free range eating grass, pulling up roots, pulling up the bacteria in, you know, on the grass. And there's, you know, trace minerals such as cobalt that are required in the soil along with the bacteria to make the B12. Oh, and here's that other tooth stuff I like to use sometimes for the whitening. It's actually called My Magic Mud. Saw them at the show. Hopefully one of these days I'm going to get down to their factory down in Austin, Texas, and give you guys a tour of their factory, why they started making the product and all this kind of stuff. Because I think, you know, once again, instead of using those whitening strips that have all kinds of chemicals, toxins that could break down and mess up your teeth, right, why not use something natural? And this is like a mom and pop company that really had a problem, and they developed this as a natural product solution to the problem. And if they didn't have the problem, they would have never came up with this natural solution. So I think that's great, and we need to support companies like that. Oh, next company, of course, I saw my friends at the Tahitian Gold Company in Torrance, California. It's TahitianVanilla.com. And I got some vanilla beans. I don't encourage you guys to use vanilla extracts. I like to use the whole food whenever possible. And, you know, I always say I'm like 99% raw. This is one of the reasons why I'm 99% raw, because most vanilla beans, except the one variety they have from Tahiti, are actually blanched before they're dried to stop the enzymatic process, or, you know, they would not cure properly. So these ones are like the heat process ones, but I think in here somewhere I might have got the Tahitian ones that are really raw, if that's really important to you. It's more important to me at this day and age is to eat as raw as possible, 99%. And yeah, to get some vanilla, I would much rather use this stuff than some kind of vanilla powder that's labeled raw. But it's not really raw, because actually that's heat sterilized, which is, you know, even worse in my opinion than just being blanched. And once again, always try to use a whole food product instead of something highly processed. I mean, just going through here. Oh, I got this to try. So if you guys are longtime viewers, you might have seen the video at last year's Natural Products Expo. Maybe I'll put a link down below. But I'm at this company, and this is basically called the Aunt Fanny's Fly Punch Fruit Fly Trap. I didn't get a sample last year, but I saw them again this year. Got some samples. They say this is like flies on honey. Fruit flies on the Aunt Fanny's Fly Punch, supposed to like take care of all your fruit fly problems, so you won't have any more. So be sure to stay tuned for an upcoming episode. I'll be testing this stuff out in my fruit fly infested kitchen. Alright, let's see what else. Man, I got so many things in this bag, it's just kind of insane. So last couple things I want to go over real quick that I got in the bag here. Let's see, number one is this guy. Basically I got a whole packet of the spirulina, and I think maybe there's some anthocyanin in there also. And you know, as much as I encourage you guys to eat fruits and vegetables, and those should be your primary foods, I also like to take some superfoods. Oh, John, you said the nasty word, superfoods. Some people love superfoods, some people hate them. I'm somewhere in the middle, right? I try to make the basis of my diet fresh fruits and vegetables, things that I grow myself. And actually, I got some spirulina grown in a fish tank in my living room right now. But if you are not growing your own spirulina, I think it can be beneficial to include some in your diet. Now, this is not a major part of my diet, right? I eat mostly fruits and vegetables maybe once a week, couple times a week sometimes. I might have some spirulina and some bananas and some greens in one of my smoothies, because it's my belief that all the different foods, plant foods on the planet, have some benefit for us. And depending on where you're at in your journey, you may want to include more or less of them. For example, if I could only get like conventionally raised lettuce and all this kind of stuff, and conventional produce, you know, I would definitely want to be supplementing that with something a little bit more high vibration, higher, you know, phytochemicals and nutrient density, such as the spirulina and the anthocyanin especially. Of course, also I got, you know, things like the goji berries. Let's see if I can find that. Oh, right here. These are the best goji berries if you're looking for goji berries. These are Ron Tea Garden's Dragon Herbs goji berries. These are unlike those nice hard goji berries that like are just nasty. These ones are nice and soft, perfect dehydration level, really delicious. Yeah, Ron Tea Gardens. Oh, and then the spirulina. Oh, I think I got like 2 more things here. Oh, this one was really cool. Another maybe not quite raw product I use is miso. I use miso for flavoring, for nice salty flavoring, because it has some, you know, salt in there, a little bit of sodium, but also it's a fermented food of primarily soybeans. I also get the chickpea version, and that's the kind I use in, you know, my dressings and kale chip recipes and all this kind of stuff. And it's basically they cook the soybeans or the chickpeas, and then they culture it by adding the bacteria. So I consider it a live food, so it's not quite raw, but live is good enough for me if it has some beneficial properties that can benefit me. You know, I'm going to include it, and especially I think a lot of people into raw foods tend to basically not eat foods in the bean category, which I think is a grave mistake. As I'm learning more, beans are an excellent food, and if you're not all raw like I am, I would encourage you guys to, you know, eat more beans, eat more cooked beans in your diet. And there are some beans, if you try to soak them and sprout them and eat them, they will make you really sick and might even take you out of this world, literally. So, you know, if you want to stay raw, the best beans to eat, in my opinion, are the lentils. So get all different kinds of lentils, sprout them, and then eat them. Also, that's why I like to do the misos, to get additional beans in me. And I grow beans in my garden, sugar snap peas. Last night I was eating a bunch of shell peas from my garden. But this is really cool. This is actually a powdered miso. So they just take the miso, they freeze dry it, put it in a powder, and now this is something I could easily travel with, because, you know, miso needs to be refrigerated, so I can't travel with it. So I could have this in like my bag, my backpack, making some cool recipes when I travel. That was just kind of cool. And oh, last thing I wanted to share with you guys today. Oh, these guys. So many of you guys have may have seen these. Many of you guys have not seen these. These are basically sprouted watermelon seeds by the Freeland Foods Company. They make the Go Raw brand of stuff. I love these sprouted watermelon seeds. You know, they're really good. I wish they'd come out with a version that was actually not salted, because it has some Celtic sea salt. The cool thing Freeland Foods is coming out with that I actually sampled, but I didn't get any to show you, and I didn't have time to make a video. They actually have some like Laura type bars, or so like Laura bars. It's like basically a date and nut, or you know, nuts and dates, or some other dried fruit and nut, dried fruit and nut. They actually have, instead of nuts, they have actually had watermelon seed based raw bars coming out. Now this would not make any large part of my diet, but I do have some Laura bars, you know, hanging out in my backpack for when I'm traveling on the airplane, super hungry. But that being said, I also have things like my superfood powders that I can easily mix up with water. I want to encourage you guys always to choose the water-rich foods first before you choose the dehydrated stuff. Although in a pinch, you're traveling, you're in a car, you know, it'd be good to keep a kale chip bag in your car. They last for a while. But also keep some bottled water in your car as well, you know, so you're eating the kale chips with the water to rehydrate you, because I think dehydration is a really huge issue in this day and age. I mean, I got all kinds of other samples and paperwork and things to read and learn about. And I mean, I rarely see, there's a few raw foodists that I see on a regular basis go to the trade shows like I do, and we always stop and talk, and I appreciate them. But you know, there's not a lot of people that embrace raw foods, but also embrace that there are other products out there that may help you. Once again, you know, most of the products in that haul are junk and a waste of money, but there may be some that are helpful, and that's why I make these videos for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this episode of me being at the Natural Products Expo West and sharing with you guys everything that I've learned and the coolest products coming out, hey, please give me a thumbs up to let me know. I'll be sure to go back in the future and make more videos for you guys, sharing you guys what's coming out if you guys aren't able to attend the expo, because it is for the trade only. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below to be notified of my new and upcoming episodes. I have new and upcoming episodes coming out about every 5 to 7 days on this channel. And be sure to check my past episodes. I'll put a few links down below to Natural Products Expos I've gone to in the past. You can see the cool products that I've found in the past. And also check all my other past videos for the videos that I've done now over the years on how to live a healthy, plant-based, fruit and vegetable strong diet. Last video I want to encourage you guys to watch if you haven't watched any of my videos before is the 20 things I wish I knew 20 years ago when I started the raw foods diet. That's a very important video. It could basically propel you and get you to a really good place so you could do plant-based raw, fruit and vegetable, strong diet the healthiest way based on my experience. So once again, my name is John Kohler with okraw.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best. Alright, this is John Kohler with okraw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and I'm sitting inside a 4-foot by 8-foot Harbor Freight trailer. One of the most affordable trailers you guys can purchase with low sides.